Welcome everyone. You've probably clicked on this video for one of two reasons. A, you're a full-blown weeb like me and thought, I wonder if I can learn total breathing concentration and become a demon slayer in real life. Well, unfortunately, I have to break it to you that it's not possible because, well, it's an anime and there are no demons to slay anyway. Or B, the title of this video caught your interest and that's still a perfectly valid reason. Either way, you're in the right place because today I will be breaking down the neuroscience, yes, neuroscience, behind how and why total breathing concentration works, and by the end of this video you'll know by practicing conscious breathing you can improve focus, endurance and recovery almost like in Demon Slayer. And I'll also show you a couple of breathing drills that you can start practicing today. In the anime, total breathing concentration, Zen Shuju no Kogyu, is described as a breathing technique that lets the user enhance every physical and mental aspect of themselves by mastering oxygen intake and control. That's how the characters, especially the Hashira, are able to move faster, strike harder and sustain that heightened state, all whilst aura farming, don't forget, through perfect rhythmic breathing. Now, obviously it's an anime, but the idea behind it actually aligns with what happens in the body when we practice controlled intentional breathing, and this is where things begin to get interesting. So, looking at this from a neurological point of view, when you start to consciously control your breath, you're not just calming yourself down, you are sending inputs to your brain and nervous system. And one key region involved in this is the prefrontal cortex, which sits at the very front of your frontal lobe. This area handles focus, decision making, emotional regulation and planning, but it is also closely connected to movement because the frontal lobe plays a major role in voluntary motor control. So now if you think about it, when you activate your prefrontal cortex through breathing exercises or deep focus, you're indirectly improving how your body moves and reacts. Now when you start paying attention to your breath, like slowing it down, controlling it, the likes of that, you're literally sending new signals through your nervous system, and this changes your output, which can lead to better coordination, sharper focus, improved control under pressure, and over time this builds something in neurology called neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to rewire itself. Now, there's another layer to this that most people overlook, and it's a huge part of what makes breathing training so powerful, and that is CO2 tolerance. Most of us think oxygen is what controls our breathing urge, but it's actually carbon dioxide that triggers it. And this is also why Tanjiro trained up in the mountains, because at higher altitudes there's less oxygen in the air, which means your body has to adapt by becoming more efficient at using what oxygen it has, and this kind of training naturally increases your CO2 tolerance. And this is where the Bohr effect kicks in. The Bohr effect explains how higher CO2 levels help your body release oxygen more effectively. So instead of holding on to oxygen, your red blood cells deliver it to your tissues faster, which is exactly what your muscles need during performance. Now, just a quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or neuroscientist or anyone fancy with PhDs or certificates or anything like that. This is all just based on my own research and real world application in my own training. So if you want to go deeper or apply it to your specific situation, always consult a qualified expert. Okay, so let's move from the theory into the practical now. So I'm going to show you two drills that I like to use for myself during my training. The first one is slow nasal breathing. The way this drill works is that all you're going to do is simply inhale through your nose for about 4 seconds, then you're going to hold for another 2 to 4 seconds, and then you're going to exhale slowly through your nose for about 6 to 8 seconds. And then you'll continue this for about however long you want really, but I would only do this for about 1 to 2 minutes if you've never done this stuff before. And what this is doing is, because we are inhaling for less time than we are exhaling, we're now teaching our body how to use less oxygen more effectively, which is coming back to the Bohr effect. And this can also activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which also promotes calm and helps your body use oxygen more effectively. Now, when to use this? I usually do this type of breathing drill during my training sessions or some sort of conditioning or endurance training, and I find it helps me to last longer, and I also don't get out of breath as often. Okay, and for our final drill, we're going to be going over the diaphragm stretch. Now, this is a simple but super effective for improving your breathing performance and also activating your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, your diaphragm is your main muscle that controls breathing, and when it's tight, it can limit how much air you actually take in. And this stretch specifically helps release that tension so you can breathe deeper and move a little bit more effectively, and also calm yourself down. So, how to do this? All you're going to do is simply lie down on your back, bend your knees and make sure that your feet are flat on the floor. Then you're going to tuck your pelvis in and try to flatten your lower back gently on the ground. Then place both hands on your lower ribs and take a slow deep breath in through your nose. You should feel your ribs and belly expand, trying to imagine that you're filling up a balloon in your stomach. Then you want to breathe out strongly through your mouth, pushing all of the air out until you feel empty, and try to keep your ribs wide and not let them collapse. Now, this can be a little bit hard, so if they do collapse, don't worry about it. It's just more of a thing that you need to try and practice over time. And then rest and repeat. I'll probably do this for about 2 to 3 more times, and after that I would just leave it at that and call it a day. So, while Demon Slayer does take things to the extreme, the core idea behind total breathing concentration is real. It's about mastering your physiology through breath control. And by training your breathing, you're not just improving endurance or focus, you're literally training your whole nervous system to perform at a higher level. So start simple, make sure you stay consistent, and pay attention to how your body responds. And if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves anime and wants to level up their training. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.